Neil Chadwick, Chief Sales Officer for the IFGL Group and based in the Isle of Man. I've worked for the IFGL Group in various different guises. So from Scottish Life International, Royal London 360, RL 360, and now IFGL. Over 20 years with the group, and variety of different roles during that period of time. So from new business team up to more recently, prior to the change of role, as head of technical services for the group, and also running the trust company that we launched last year. So the previous role prepared me very well for this. In the last 5 or 6 years, there's been a lot more engagement face-to-face with advisors and their customers. So understanding, what their needs and requirements would be and how we could help them with customer outcomes has been a key focus for me over a number of different years. Also helping advisors out with their kind of seminars, training, customer engagement. So that kind of led quite well into the new role, because it's quite clear that from a sales perspective, a lot of the sales activity was becoming a lot more technical in terms of, the knowledge that was required for not only the advisors, but also, our sales team, in order to engage properly and ensure that our products would work to have the right desired outcome for customers. We do a lot of training and education with advisors as often as we can. Everybody's time is precious. And particularly in the kind of international advisory role, you're dealing with multiple different time zones. And so there's only so much that you can do. We do trip out to the regions to see the advisors as often as we possibly can. Our sales team are constantly engaging with the advisors. And so, we do undertake education and training programs as often as we possibly can, whether that's from the Isle of Man remotely or whether it's face-to-face when we're in the region. But that's something that we're very keen to do and build on into next year. We've done really well. And for me, it's making sure that we continue to operate in the same way. I think that the phrase is "don't drop the vase" has been mentioned a few times, because my predecessor has built this business up very well in terms of its kind of sales and the support that we get from the advisor network around the world. But it's just going to be building on that, engaging more with advisors. The training programs we mentioned before are going to be key to us next year, to make sure that whenever people think about an offshore insurance provider, an IFGL business is top of mind because of the level of support and engagement that we got with them. Well, I think the key message is that none of this was a surprise, and that the business has been working through, the activity that would be required to replace those roles and responsibilities for quite a period of time. So it's not as if someone just handed in a notice and it's panic stations. We were well geared up for this. And the exec team have been working through a program to, as I say, fill those roles and responsibilities. So we will still have the same DNA within the group and the exec team going forward. But the new senior leadership team will, of course, have the opportunity now to look at things with a fresh pair of eyes and see if we can build on what the previous team have already achieved and move the group forward. Key challenges for advisors, and some of that will depend on where they are based in the world and the regulatory environment that they have to operate within. Recruitment of good people has always been a problem. It doesn't matter what business you're in, whether it's an advisory business or whether it's somebody like ourselves. That's always a challenge. Some of the advisors are running academy training programs to bring new people in to their businesses, and I think some of them are seeing their success with that. But one of the key challenges for all of us is the regulatory environment we operate within. So whether that's the home jurisdiction of the advisor or the jurisdiction of the product provider, and it's constantly changing, and it can be a bit of a challenge to navigate that. quality and reliable service, I think, is the key area that you've got to manage well with your advisors and your customers. And on top of that, it's the support that you can provide them. We talked earlier around the sales process now becoming a lot more kind of technical, and it's that technical support which really, sets the bar in terms of whether or not you're a good or bad business to deal with. And I like to think that, the technical support function that we've got within the group is kind of right up there in terms of what we can actually help advisors achieve. Yeah, I mean, we're always looking at new opportunities, but we have to be clear that it needs to make sense for those opportunities to work for us. So we wouldn't go into any M&A unless it really kind of shifted the dial for us in terms of what it would allow us to do. We're also constantly looking at new markets, old markets that we may have been in before that we could potentially go back into again. So we're always keeping an eye on what's going on in the world and what would make sense for us to say, whether that's new geographies, new products, or whether it's some kind of M&A that we could do to help us achieve those. It's a very important industry. It's been often overlooked in the last 10 years or so since the introduction of the investment platforms. I mean, we've got an investment platform within the group as well, as you know, so we've always been well positioned for that. And that was a key strategic decision that we made at that point in time. But when you look at the insurance industry itself, a lot more advisors are now navigating back to it because of what it can actually achieve for the customer. You've got a really varied, flexible product that can do all of the things that an investment platform can do, plus more, together with all the additional services that the life industry can provide, such as trust planning, estate planning, succession planning, and so on. So, there's definitely a place for it. Will there be more consolidation? Highly likely. We've got a couple of big players in the market now. We're one of those, and some smaller companies. So there could definitely be more consolidation, but it may not just be within the other man life sector. It could be a lot further afield than that.